Okay. Should be live here. Hello. Let me set title. Cool. I also have to set the category. All right. I think that's good. Why is it not showing me as online? Hmm. There it goes. Okay. Here is the plan. Here is the plan. I have now finished. I'm going to say what is a 95% confidence ablation, which is good enough for me to act on. That we no longer need prioritized replay. This was semi-expected from the 4.0 update. Prioritized replay becomes much weaker now that we have long horizon bootstrap. Prioritized replay becomes much weaker. I'm trying to think if there's any possible way that this gets messed up. I don't think so. It's possible that we end up cutting this. And we want to put some form of it back, I suppose. I think that the version that we would put back in either event would be much simpler. Yeah, I think that any version we put back would be much simpler. And would have maybe one hyper at most. It will be worth playing with that at some point. But I think for now we're fine. I think we're going to do the simple thing. We're not going to creep any more stuff into this release. Let me actually check. When was the 4.0 release date? How have I done on terms of time? This is April. So May, June, July, August. Oh yeah, it's been 4 months. That's good enough. I think we are... Yeah, we are happy. I don't need any of these tabs. Close all this. We're good. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove prioritize replay from the stack. Don't need this, don't need this. Do need this. Oops. Hey, convert. Yep, this is all weekend stream. I am going to split it up into chunks. So I'm going to do 2-3 hours now. Take an hour for breakfast. But we're going to be doing a lot of stream this weekend. I did that in college. We're not ever doing that shit again. But we will put some good hours in. Five chips. Okay, cool. I think that will both be a cool and a useful learning experience for you as well. YouTube isn't working on restream again. Seriously? It shows me as being live. You mean the chat's not working? Oh, yeah, the chat's not working. Okay. I'll try to keep both chats up if I can. That's kind of on restream for being bad, but I liking Grok. Same as 4.5 as far as I can tell. Nice to have it though. I'm glad they didn't make it slow. It seems like it's still fast. Someone's up early. Yeah. This is the pre-release weekend. That doesn't mean we're releasing next week, by the way. It just means that we're gonna have a stable version by next week, you know? There's still a bunch of like release work to be done that's not dev. But I think in terms of like all the features and stuff, it's all there. Just have some, yeah, the beta will be up. It'll be merged into the official 5.0 branch instead of this 5C. And it'll be considered like feature complete. Well, feature complete, subject to bug fixes. I'll go work with high sample reuse. That's what I've been doing for the last like week, Jess. It turns out that like basically everything was broken, and while I was being somewhat stupid, like the rest of the field was being even more stupid. Impala straight up does not work. Which is that's like a top 10 paper in the field that does not work. My theoretical result merging vtrace and GAE holds perfectly. The reason it doesn't work is because Impala just does not work. It's not any problem with the theoretical result or how I did it or anything. I tried all possible combinations. The good news is we actually get to simplify the stack and delete 5 hypers versus puffer 4, and we get better performance. We actually soda. Yeah. No, I'm going to keep vtrace. I'm going to keep vtrace implemented because the theoretical result is so cool. However, it is going to be off by default and not included in the default sweep parameters. The problem with Impala, it was a grab bag of different techniques. And when people say they use like the Impala algorithm or whatever, they're kind of like referring to one portion or another of that grab bag. But the actually only major algorithmic change that they made does not work. Like, confirmed does not work. It does not work generally. It does not work in the setting that they described. It does not work anywhere. And by does not work, I don't mean that the original results were fabricated or anything. I mean that their baseline was very weak, and it does not provide any sort of lift over a strong baseline, and it actually typically makes your results worse. So we had a bug where vtrace was never actually enabled in the first place, so it's equivalent. But we do get to cut hypers out of the sweep. Less confusing for protein. This is a quick experiment for reference, and then we're going to strip. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to strip out cryo replay. We might end up putting a weaker form of it back into 6, by the way. But I'm not committing to fully, like, that this technique is never good. But I think that the version that we have of it, definitely not worth. We also have soda on 2048 by quite a good margin. Did we have maize, actually? Hang on, let's close this. Let's go check maize. And I love Constellation so much that I just have my previous version results on the browser like this. It's super nice, honestly. .993 in like 10 minutes. Okay, look at that. Uptime. There we go. 0.993 was the highest that we got. So we do actually have soda across 2 of our major tasks. Vtrace plus sweep. Okay, I already answered that. That's very nice. I thought we had this. This matches existing soda perfectly, but I'm sure that we had higher than this. Oh, hey Liberty, sorry. I have two windows of chats up. Okay? I have to notice both of them. Is it true that Jurgen Yeah, Schmidhuber invented Puffer a long time ago. If you think about it. Hey Samus. I have to manually have the YouTube chat open today because Restream doesn't do things for some reason. I'd love to not be linked to Restream, but I haven't found an alternative. Yeah, Prio actually hurts now. It's probably hard to find because the sweep space that I specified is good. 5 minutes for this. This is fine. This is the last experiment we're going to have to run for a while, and then it's just all going to be editing. Because we're just going to strip out prioritize replay, we're going to strip out all the extra crap, we're going to get Puffer to about 9.5k lines, I believe. 8 files, 9.5k lines. And then we will just be able to, like, start messing with stuff. After a certain time, it connects automatically. Well, it hasn't yet, and I've been live for a while, so meh. Restream's kind of dumb. 1.01 maze. That's really big. That means that we're consistently solving the biggest mazes cleanly. That will look that will look very different when we go to run the policies. Yeah, this sucks. YouTube chat doesn't appear in stream. Go yell at Restream. I did not change anything with the settings whatsoever. Restream sometimes just decides to not work. I have it open on the side, but I occasionally miss stuff because I have to have two chats open. This will be done in a couple minutes is fine, and then we'll basically just be able to strip this. Yeah, so this puffernet thing as well. Early stream? Yeah, I'm doing all weekend, man. Pretty much all weekend stream. I'm gonna split it up a little bit. So I'm gonna do 2-3 hours now, breakfast, whole bunch of hours, dinner, probably more hours after dinner, we'll see. I'm gonna get 5-0 done. Should be done in a second, no? What is it doing? Just got stuck. Dumb. $99.9. Very nice. Perfect. 99.94. Up from 99.3. That's great. If it's just like a video about RL, yeah, sure. You're not doing anything sketchy with it. I generally don't care if people use clips of mine and stuff as long as they're not using them for sketchy stuff or to like promote whatever. Guy seems cool. It makes some sense. Don't need to read code. I mean, you can use that if you want. If you just want to use you can use the rage bait clips if you want, I guess. Right. I'm sure that was oh whatever. The trick to being able to live stream all this dev is you cannot hold yourself to like professional working standards on stream. You basically just hold yourself to whatever Discord standard. Because otherwise it would be exhausting, right? Like, I'm not going to be here like, ah, yes, professional mode on my live stream. This is like chill and work. And this will be much more active in a second here. There's basically just a bunch of AI, like just LLM experiment scaffolding that needs to be deleted. And then I can tighten up a bunch of the code around that, but it needs to just go first. Yeah, the hedge funds and stuff, like finance will do that, Anish. I've told people not to like ask me for traditional interview advice because it's kind of you just have to grind a bunch of bullshit puzzles. Ugh. Not really, but there's more of it. That's funny. Yeah, he's the funny guy. Anytime anybody like posts something about billionaires being bad as well, he replies, "Oh, but I made Minecraft," and they say, "All right, you're cool." But I just think that's so funny that he bothers replying to that stuff. I'm gonna know roughly by the code length immediately whether this is bullshit, but then we'll also just be able to diff it versus the 10K. I saw they released something. I didn't see actually what it was. Yeah, that's a nice bit of code to get rid of. That's a very nice bit of code to get rid of. Couple hundred lines. The prio kernels were especially annoying to me because it's a very simple operation, but just the kernels for it are just a mess. This actually will make Puffer a little bit faster as well, which is nice. GPU dock. Oh, it was like the, yeah, you just plug a GPU into whatever thing. That's fun. I don't really have a use for that, but cool. I mean, the main thing I have a use for is just like good, stable 5090 boxes at a price that's not ludicrous. Yeah, but when you subtract something small from something that is already small, it matters. Even Joseph uses AI to code. It's actually using AI to delete code, if you can see what's happening here. This is just deleting code, in fact. And I don't know what it's doing here, but this is probably getting removed as well. Yeah, this is doing some bullshit random sampling that I want to get rid of most likely. It's minus 500 lines of crap. Robot arm. Cool. If you do it to 5C, I can get it merged in probably even today. Yeah, so this is bullshit. Oh, is that bad? No, that's fine, right? That's fine. This is all gone. Yeah, the EMA rewards. This can get just removed. $9.8K. I think it can get to 9.5. Let's get rid of this infinity path. Hello, welcome. 2D games. Anish. Currently our best benchmark that I trust the most for our research is this game right here. This is literally the best benchmark we have for research. So the things that are useful are not always the things that you would expect. Tasks that just scale really hard are often quite useful because they let us test like the low end and the high end of our training. Haven't watched streams since 4.0. What are you doing now? This is working on the 5.0 pre-release, which is going to be about 9.5 thousand, maybe up to 10K, but definitely under 10K lines of code for all of 5.0. Up to 2.5x faster compared to Puffer 4, and a small little state-of-the-art improvement, I'd say, overall as well. Small algo improvement, just state-of-the-art. Goal of today is, first of all, going to be to clean up and delete all the extra crap that we have in here that we don't need. That's just going to be probably the first chunk of the stream today before I take a break for breakfast. And then after that, it's probably going to just be testing out all the features, making any last like cleanup decisions on usage, getting all the envs in. Thank you very much. I will. I'll get the robot arm in as well. You do have to think a little bit though, Anish, on like, what types of tasks do you think are easy to write down, and easy to solve at some base level, but could scale really hard. Like Sokoban is another task that we have that I really, really like. That's going to be a major benchmark for us. How much code is adding for this shit? Okay, not bad. I do want to run this ablation real quick. 5 minutes to run, it's not bad. Self-play and sparse reward stuff. Active and being merged into Puffer 5. Well, actually, hang on. Those are two different things. So self-play, active, ported fully to CUDA C, being merged into Puffer 5. And Spencer has been working on Robocode and working on core research on that while I've been doing other Core 5.0 stuff. The sparse reward state set stuff is getting switched to Puffer 6 in favor of more self-play, as well as the end-to-end CUDA and optimizations going into Puffer 5. No more PyTorch? No more PyTorch. It's really just, it's not worth it anymore. Like, PyTorch is so much slower. Their numerics suck. It, like, causes a ton of dependency issues. Puffer is now just about the simplest thing ever. You just grab yourself any machine that has a full CUDA setup. NVIDIA's like CUDA Dev Docker will be perfectly suitable. Super compact and small download. Container gets smaller. Depths get simpler. You are way, way, way less locked to any particular version of CUDA. So you actually get better hardware support out of this. It's just better. And if you're worried about complexity, fear not. I just spent like weeks getting Puffer to be super compact. So self-play, Constellation, the whole protein sweep algorithm from Glitzy, everything in here is under 10k lines. And that includes 1600 lines for Constellation, 500 lines for any file support, proteins 1200, the CPU evals 840. So look at this. The actual code for Puffer is 5k lines. Algo plus Pufferl, this is the entire source, 5k lines. Isn't that crazy? Gym compatible M's like Majoko. With Python binds, nope. But any of the ones that have like low level C++ or whatever, you can just bind them into Puffer at that level. Right? Just don't use the gym package. Like, you want to do Atari, you want to do ProcGen, you want to do like any of the warp backend stuff, just bind it to RC. You can bind C or C++ or Rust or any other low-level language that can integrate with C. You can bind directly. And that is right. Thank you, Anish. You can support all this stuff for free just by starting the Puffer on GitHub. That is true. The true statement. 5,000 lines for RL to work. I see no path forward that involves like slow Python in the loop for RL. There's basically no world in which it makes sense to be doing RL and spending time and effort on envs that run like 500 SPS. anything that's written native in Python is relatively straightforward to port over to C. Typically, Python projects don't get to be too big in the first place. Anything that is a Python wrapper over low-level code, it's typically very easy to just like delete the wrapper portion and do that in C. C++ if you have to, whatever. We do support C++ now natively as well through NVCC. So our enms, when we take PRs, we typically require that everything be... Oh, Jesus, look at this. I just have this in the background. Yeah, we typically require our env PRs to be C99 compatible. But generally, since we switched to just one compilation unit in NVCC, you can do C++ envs and even CUDA envs. I would not be surprised, Anish. Also, the funniest thing about the Puffer 4 release is we kind of just dropped all of the random Python environments that we used to support, and nobody noticed. So, like, literally nobody was using that crap. Didn't say anything? Okay, a few people noticed. We should actually have Atari and ProcGen. That's super easy to get binds for, though. Oh, 1.0, perfect. Fix the vector API for 1.5 years. Yeah, there's no way to fix it, man. Like, you just can't have that. You cannot have Python in the loop like that, in the end loop, and have stuff be fast. It will eventually bottleneck you. And like for the people saying, "Oh, but it's not the bottleneck in our code." Yeah, well, that's because the rest of your code is slow. Like, yes, you see me optimizing things that nobody else remotely cares to optimize, but that's because everything is fast. And when everything is fast, like you get a flat profile where everything is the bottleneck and individual microseconds matter. Heck, nanoseconds matter in some of our very hot loops. Bouncing dot chart. That was funny. That's dumb. Very late to reply. So solution has been get rid of Impala. I mean, we get rid of vtrace. Like, we keep it in the code, to be fair, because it's 2 lines and it's a really cool theoretical result. So you can play with it. And in fact, I'll invite anybody who thinks they can make vtrace work to, like, give it a try in our code base. But we actually can remove vtrace, prioritize sampling. We had an extra optimizer parameter or 2 that was not being used. So this thing is still going, by the way. And that's not even our best policy anymore. I do hope we end up training one that's like a small policy that's still pretty good. Yeah, 8192. Very long episodes. So we're at 9.9K. 9.8K really. This puffer net file, this LM did this crap. We'll delete this in a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's still 8 files. 6.0 algo. No, 6.0 was planning. We were planning to replace prioritized sampling with 6.0 anyways. It's a much stronger form. It's just that the prio sampling, it turns out, because of the architecture changes and the longer horizon bootstrap, prio sampling is just weak enough that it doesn't matter anymore. And it's essentially just confusing protein at this point. So it's better to remove it. You also will get a small perf boost back from removing it because you get to sample from contiguous memory. It's pretty nice. In fact, we're going to have to tighten a couple kernels today to account for that. Engineering sim trick that actually makes it fast. Bottleneck of running simulation is there are tons of things you can do in sim engineering to make stuff faster. Um, it depends how optimized your thing is to begin with. Like most problems that I look at, like they just have not been designed remotely correctly at all. And anything that I can do, like anything I do, will make it much faster. For stuff that's already pretty well optimized, you end up just going and looking for corners you can cut, like fidelity that you can drop that doesn't actually affect the quality of the policies, and then you experiment with that in a loop. Result from sweep? Ooh. We have soda with a simple we have soda with -5 hyperparameters and much simpler code. So hang on, let me see. Bots only. Huh. That's really weird, isn't it? Any fun RL party tricks? Oh yeah. I mean, training stuff like instantaneously is a pretty good one. Here, let's train a breakout agent. Oops, it's done. Spencer, there's a pretty big difference in steps there. I noticed that. Held out might just take longer to learn. But if that's not the case, then yeah, that's very interesting, huh? Very screwy for self-play. Marine ad from Twitch. Uh, a lot of Red Bull. Wait. Messing with Gigabatch. Found better perf. This is sweep v sweep. Yeah, that is very weird, man. I'm trying to think what we can do with that. Wait, but you didn't just run pure self-play yet, did you? This pure scaled self-play stuff. That was one of the major things, right? Though it's and by pure scaled would be historical self-play, obviously. Scaled historical self-play. Ongoing 100 bill. Cool. Um what? We could even put it in more contiguous memory, I suppose. 25 bill for faster test. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we have the scaling theory, right? The question is going to be, do you get something that is significantly better out of just scaling the crap out of it than you did than you could get with just the pure self play before, right? I'm just having it time something real quick, and then we're gonna fix this because this looks like a mess to me. But I've wanted to have this in contiguous mem for a long time. Mm. Be faster, bruh. You're not. Why are you writing a benchmark? Stupid thing. It just. I didn't ask it to do this. Smart thing to do would have been to run kernel profile on the full run. Oops. Hang on 1 second. I can't get. Hey. All right. Just had to deal with something. The kernel was already. Oh, I bet it. I bet I know what it did. I bet it did something completely stupid. Have to fix this. Copy. I think they're actually smaller at the moment, Anish, but I'm super lean, so it looks proportionally better. This is the lightest I've been in a while. I've basically just been starving myself all summer. I'm at 171 pounds. I get like a bagel sandwich and 2 bowls of soup per day, and that's all I eat. Diet recipe? I don't cook, dude. It's literally there's like a bakery slash deli type place where I get like an egg sandwich with a bagel and some vegetables. They also have minestrone soup, so I have some vegetable soup basically. And then I go get a big bowl of chicken soup for dinner at a Mexican place a lot of the time. This weird. Lights. Was it one big kernel? It might have been one big kernel. What env is this? Oh, we use robocode for our own self-play testing now because it's fast. It's pretty good. Oh, I see why. Select copy. So what, we would have to have it all contiguous? I think we can. Yeah. So this was one kernel before, but the key insight is not this. The key insight is going to be that we can graph the whole train and then not need this at all. Whereas we would need this copy before. We don't need this copy at all now. That'll be a nice big speed up. The puffer just gets faster. I don't know what to tell you. The puffer just gets faster and faster. Full epoch graph, just not remove the copy. It did actually figure this out, by the way, from the first thing. So it is a little better.
None of these models are AGI.
They're narrow intelligence. They're not general. By any of the definitions that were floated around way back when, before people tried to like move the goalpost towards them so that they could claim it. What? Well, that's weird. What? That's so weird. Alright. Yeah, stay weird, RLC. I'm not going this year. I figure that I'm going to RLC is this weekend. I'm instead gonna stay here and stream all weekend and do the pre-release. If I'd actually lined it up better, I should have released it for RLC. Should have added a comma. Don't care. It's fine. This is something I've wanted to have for a while, which is fully graph training. It actually should not take any longer to trace than normal, should it? No. Because it reuses, yeah, it reuses the buffers. This might actually be a significant speed up, to be honest with you. Let's say 3. It depends how many microseconds we're assuming the graph launches. I mean, it's thousands. Rose MS. Thousands will be. We'll see if it's small or not. I'm hoping it's just rearranging my existing code here. No, it's making a mess. Lovely. Huh? Dude, why is this thing so stupid? And it doesn't train. What the hell? Oh. Yeah, I think it, it just screwed with stuff. Uh-huh. We'll fix this, don't worry. We'll get this to work. Just take a second. I mean, register pressure from params, dude. It has to do more operations. It, like, literally has to do 4 times more ops. If anything, I'm pretty sure it's the mem pressure of the doubled activation sizes, the bigger deal. We'll get this swept, though. Let me make sure that we can actually get this to be faster than 50 mil first. It just leaked. I just saw that it just leaked in it just leaked instructions. Like never mentioned something or other. Did you see that? It just leaked whatever the heck its its system prompt is. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, I didn't have the YouTube up chat for a while. Oh, but the YouTube chat's working now, so it's fine. YouTube chat's fine. So we're gonna get 50 mil SPS with the 950 ms on the original config here. And then we are going to get it a little faster, ideally, with CUDA graphs over the whole train. I wonder if we CUDA graph the whole env. That's super funny. Is he still... How the hell does that guy have time to be rank 1 Diablo in hardcore? Epoch JE. So something got screwy here. Epoch graph looks to be a small difference, which is fine. He hired some dude. I don't know. There have been multiple reports from people close to him that like he actually just plays the thing a ridiculous amount. This is where I reveal that I've been the one leveling his account all this time. No. Elon's items and shit, that's funny. I have my own account to level, thank you very much. Side monitor content. Running will live on TV. What do you do when you max everything? It's literally the meme of like, now you played a game. Okay. Ugh, I played WoW actually for a couple weeks on a vacation not that long ago, like last year or whatever, and I got bored of it very quickly. I thought it had like very long-term progression, but it's basically like a seasonal it's like a seasonal dungeon game at this point. Not it's not really like the long form of an MMO anymore. Like, even as a new player, like leveling takes a couple days. I thought that was a meme, like, oh yeah, it takes a couple days, like if you know exactly how to do everything and have unlimited money or whatever. I've played games like that before, where it takes 3 months. No, it takes longer. It actually takes a year if you're a new player, and it literally takes a day if you have all the stuff to do it correctly. But nope. 10 years ago. The League. I don't know. I've played that game like once in a while and like yeah, it's fun, but I really just it's the type of thing where there's always like, I'm not really in the mood to play like a competitive thing and I just like something chill that I can do on the side for a bit. And RS always has that. Like MMOs just always have something for whatever state you're in. Agent offset thing is weird. Goal is to just make it really, really fast right now. And Then we'll resweep for score. Farming route. Oh, it can learn something like that super easily. Like a few minute loop. Yeah, that's super easy for it to learn. It can already do stuff way more complicated than that. Not shuffling data. Slightly sketchy. Especially for self-play. A hack is single player. Um, it's not really. It's kind of just like mother of all roguelikes. Yeah, roguelikes. It kind of is the rogue game. Or close to it. Fused min groove. What do you mean a fused min groove rollout? Mingrew's been like had fused basically everything for since 4.0. This what I'm doing here, this is for the train loop. This is basically just cutting some of the fluff off that we had for prioritized sampling. Nine 2 seconds, train and stop. Finalizing Inferno and Calo this weekend. Valo, we're also finalizing our like 5.0 build pretty much this weekend. Puffer demos on Instagram. Hey, star the Puffer on GitHub. It helps us out a lot. It's all free. We do have professional services, but those are not targeted at hobbyists or academics or whatever. Those are just for big companies that are doing fancy RL and want some help. Yeah, we're basically doubling the number of environments here with all the new ones being merged in. 5.0 is going to be by design a smaller update than 4.0, but I think what 5.0 does is it removes all of the growing pains that we have from going to CUDA in 4.0 by like fully committing to it and stripping out all of the old Python and dependencies and jank. Use gem and jade. No, you can't do that easily, dude. I think the only way you could remotely do that would be with custom epilogue or something, or by having your own entire map mall. It would be nice to have. It really would be nice to have. I think that would give us a substantial speed up as well. But I don't know if there's a reasonable way to do that. That seed looks weird. Okay. Okay, cool. You slowed it down. Nice job. Inferno's 2.1 mil. Not bad. Not getting wins though. I highly doubt that the Puffer 5 algo changes will make it win. It's pretty minor on the algo side. We do have a few improvements, to be fair, but I doubt it like totally fixes any new problems. Okay, that is a win. Cutograph would be nicer. We can also, can we cutograph the env? Maybe we can. It would be funny. We'll probably have some time to like make some silly demos, honestly, once this is fully set up. I don't know what this is doing here. We'll fix that. I think that's redundant. Hey, let's see. Welcome to our current fix everything as fast as possible session. We have Soda overnight on 2048 with a very, very simple stack. No prioritized replay, no advantage normalization. We're now just going to get stuff as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. 20 ms. Very nice. That's about what we expect. Oh. Huh? No adv norm is kind of crazy. It's not though, because Muon. Admittedly, it is. I will admit the squared error term can be kind of sketchy, but it works, and we've swept both Maze and 2048 to Soda without adv norm. Faster for me up to H64. Right, but the thing is, dude, you can't just replace our matmul with a custom one that's like faster up to hidden 64. That's not helpful. In fact, I think what we're going to do is after 5.0, we're going to stop targeting networks below 100k parameters for our optimizations. Because you get like ridiculous shit otherwise. Like, isn't this just a naive map mall? Or is there some tiling shit in here? Oh no, you actually do have tiling. Okay. Yeah, but like still, you can't just do this, right? Where you put in your your matmul kernel if it's gonna underperform Kublas at larger sizes. Was the snake config? The thing that was useful for that config was that now I know that I don't need to one-hot the obs to get 125 score. So yes, I did need that, thank you. And that's gonna be, the whole, like, fix all the ends section of the workday is going to be after we figure out this current mess. Ah, I see, it's the capture. Oh, okay. Well, no, we don't actually, right? It's like 2 ms for the first epoch. That's fine. Actually, I'm fine with that. It's one. This is a rounding error. Good thing. I don't know if that'll actually do anything. We'll see. It might just go super fast. So I checked with and without advantage norm. It didn't even shift the hyper parameters, by the way, for 2048. Like you basically got the same score with or without advantage norm on the same hypers, and it's soda. So I think that Muon just absorbs that with its orthogonalization. Muon's doing a lot of the work here for us. Wasn't sure if it could be extended. It's just about evaluating performance at different points on the curve, right? Like very roughly, we care about networks in the 100K to 10 million parameter range, though the high end of that should be like we should be relatively efficient, and our stack should not break if we do 100 mil either. Above 100 mil, I'm happy having to redesign some stuff, but 100 mil, we can solve a lot of problems with that. Permitting problems. Ooh, that's funny. That's kind of funny that that works. Yeah, that's funny. How much code did that just add? Almost nothing. Yeah, nothing. $60 mil SPS. That's 100% fine. See if we broke it. We break training. heck? Does not look good. We do have to make sure we didn't break training somehow with any of this. I just need to make sure we didn't break training. Yeah, this is bad. Kill this sweep. I think it's broken, so I'll let this do this. What time is it? 10:30. I think now's a good time for me to get breakfast, or in a minute or two here. So I'm gonna go order breakfast, and then I'll go walk to pick it up. After we set this up, I'm gonna just basically have this thing figure out what the regression is in the meantime, and then once we have it cleaned, I will come back. I will manually clean up all of the code. It's not that much. It's like maybe 200-300 lines worth of changes. So I can clean that up, and then we'll do all the M stuff in the second session today. 60 mil SPS though. You'll hear that? 60 mil SPS. Double check this in a second. Even stuff like the coup de graph on first epoch, like that was very difficult to get working. Not broken RNN? Cool. Question on sweep. I know what I'm gonna do. Mask suggestion cost. Like this. The hell? There. Three. We'll let this run. 7, and now this is, you see it's the same. But it should learn to not run long experiments. This one still might be 10.1. Okay, but it should be like not running long stuff, I would hope. Maybe. Maybe. Or maybe it's still running long stuff. Either way, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab my breakfast. And then we're going to come back. We're going to diagnose if there's an issue here. We'll figure it out. Hopefully we come back to this thing just having found us like a new stable sub 1 second solve. And it was just hypers. We'll see. And then we will clean up this code. We'll get this pushed. And we will basically just go through all of the different envs and make improvements. I still have this 8 GPU box available. And what we're going to use it for today, I left it running a sweep overnight, but then I didn't kill it this morning because I'm basically going to set this 8 GPU box up with access to my local machine or vice versa. And we're going to just have it run all of the baselines for all of the ends in a loop while I essentially go through and test everything and make sure stuff is working. So for everybody who's new around here, I'll be back in probably a little under an hour. Just got to go grab my breakfast. Start Puffer on GitHub. Everything's free and open source. Everything is at puffer.ai. And I will be streaming pre-release work all weekend. We're going to aim for like a nice sub 10K line, stable build of Puffer with all the different benchmarks cleaned up, all the different demos working cleanly, etc., etc. So if that sounds interesting, you can tune back in. Thank you.